Welcome back to March's Planning Mess. As I promised in my earlier post today that if my Sterling ink planner came today, I would do an unboxing. So I've just gotten it out of the main wrapper and let's see what we have here. All the bubble wrap. Okay, this is always a free little gift they give you. You get a planner, so you get some stickers and a little card. And I do like to keep these in my planner. They are handy for like if you're trying to tear washi tape, kind of setting it down and tearing, and it gives you a nice edge, and or just a small little straight edge. So those will be handy. Okay. Oh, and I wish I had gotten my covers. I'm gonna just pause this and go get the covers because I want that to be part of this video. Okay, that was worth it. All right. Let's open this up, see what we have. Okay, there's the box. Get that out of the way. So this is your card with your full year date, and it works as like a placeholder or a pencil board. It's not quite as sturdy if you're using it as a straight edge or pencil board as one you might get from Hobonichi or jet pens. Theirs are more of a plastic, and this is like a card. It's a paper product. So I've noticed with the one I have for my N2 that the edges they're still useful, but they have gotten a little fluffy. So, but it's pretty. I actually love this. I love the camera and the cup of tea. Probably, if I could have picked, I would have picked this design, but you don't really get a choice in what you get, so I'm happy with that. Okay, here we go. Caramel color, which I believe is the only color. I think you get a choice of whether or not you want gold or white edges, and I am not a fan of gold. I don't know. To me, it screams Bible, and as much as I love Bibles, I don't want my planner to feel like one. Okay, I love how thin this is already. Okay. So, Sterling ink. These are all laid out basically the same way. Okay, so this is part 2, so it would be a July to December. So you have your page there with the dates, and then you get a spread here if you want to do anything there. You get a goal breakdown area, which I did use in my N2, and I think even though I'm not one to like check in or fill out all of these and be like, did I meet my quarterly goals or whatever, I think it's just raised some awareness to sit down and be like, what areas of my life do I want to work on? So I think it's useful to write it down, but this isn't a huge deal. If it was gone, it wouldn't be a deal breaker for me. Okay, and then you have this yearly tracker. I a lot of times like to put my steps in here. I don't know. I mean, if you were going to track something, you could basically track 5 things for a year, or 10, I guess, if you did the top and the bottom, each one of these being different. Let me hold this up close so you can see. See how there's 10 little boxes there? I don't know what I'll put in there. Okay, and then the quarterly tracker. So this is a much more useful tracker. I did set this up in my N2 to track symptoms, and then I had drawn like a calendar on this side to track things like my cycle, or just things that kind of went across days, or also some shots that I take to keep track of when I did them. And I like how that looks. I have struggled to keep up with these, so I don't have high hopes of using this as much as I would like to. But there it is. Okay, so they give you June, and then July, August, September, October, November, December, and I'm guessing right on January too. Yep, there's January. Okay, so 8 months worth. And for those of you that would like any sort of comparison to a Hobonichi cousin, you can't tell because this is really fluffy. They are about the same width. to start off with. They're about the same width. Of course, this is full because I used it as a memory keeper as well. So it's got quite chunky, which is why I can't imagine using an entire Hobonichi Cousin the way I liked to use this particular one, because it just gets humongous and weighs a lot. But it has very similar layout. This has quarterly goals. That's an extra thing that Hobonichi does not have. Okay, so we had looked through the months. Now let's get to the weeks. So our weekly setup. So again, we track from 6 a.m. until 12 p.m. And for how I'm using my everyday carry this year, I probably, in this particular book, will use my blank pages in the back for to-do lists. But it has kind of gotten a little overwhelming to have to check multiple parts of the book. And there are enough here for every day to have a page, I believe. Let's see, 365, if it was 366, we would have 183 days to keep track of. So let's see, this starts, oh, it starts on 1. Okay, so we have 183. So they give you a page a day for half a year plus this extra one, which they did not number. So should you want to use it like a cousin, which in the cousin, in the daily section in the back, you have each day they have it marked off for you. They give you a little timeline here, and then it's just a blank spread for you to fill out the way that you want to. And so that has its charm, because when you're like future planning or with Post-it notes or whatever, of like, oh, I need to get these things done on this date, you can just go ahead and put it there because you know where that date's going to be. So in one like this that has no dates in it yet, that can pose a bit of an issue, because where are the days? So you either go ahead and mark all the days in with your stickers or stenciling or whatever you choose to do, or it's kind of no man's land. So for this setup, which I think I'm going to use this for July, I would like to probably, well, what I could do is a page a day, just try it out to see how I feel it, and put my to-do list, like there's, okay, see the little dot? I'm sorry, the lighting that I have here. There we go. You see that little dot there? So it has one at the top in the middle, and then on the side on the middle, if you can see that. So you got the those marked if you wanted to divide this into quadrants. And that may be how I do it. Ideally, for the reason I got this was to try it out for next year. So for next year, I am planning to use this section as like journal memory keeping. So I would be not necessarily putting my to-do lists in the daily section. Ideally, I would like to put the to-do list at the bottom of this page. So I think during July, just at least for the first week, I would probably maybe at 7 p.m. I mean, I really don't have any kind of recurring appointments that are that late in the day that I would want to, indicate here. I mean, honestly, well, I do track things in the early morning. Anyway, I would probably want to block off a section down here at the bottom for to-do lists, how I'm planning to use it next year. So I think because I ordered this to use it like I'm going to use next year, I will probably do that. And I might leave all of these fairly blank, mostly because what I want to use this section for is what I'm putting in my paper tests yearly notebook. So it's, yeah. this is giving me a lot more book to work with in an everyday carry than what I'm currently working with my Take a Note, which does not have any extra pages. It's just basically, what's your schedule? What's your to-do? And I like that. I do. There's something I really like about it, just being that stuff. But where the disconnect happens for me, which is why I'm looking at this book for next year, is that all the other things that I keep track of in different books are getting ignored because I'm not in it every day as well as I would like to be. So I really need to try and use this how I want to use it next year and just see if I can do it, because I was going to do that with Jibun Techo for June, and I just couldn't do it. It was the visual layout with all the fact that they put all these in little bubbles, and it was like, I don't know. It was too much for me. Okay, so this was an unboxing video. We don't need to go into my whole theory of why I do what I do when it comes to planning. That's covered in plenty of other places. So let's see how this fits in the covers. So this is a cover I got off of Amazon, and from the same place I was able to also get this. So the company is Nolte, and it was one of the few places I could get a clear cover for a B6 on Amazon. This is before I was purchasing these hoping to be able to use it with my paper test, and it was just too small because paper test has 600 pages. So I use these on just some little blank notebooks that I had from different places that were B6 size. So let's see how this fits inside of here. And if it doesn't fit, I could always order one from Sterling Ink that is actually supposed to fit. But let's just see if we can work with what we have for now. Okay. It's going to be a tight fit getting it in here. I'm nervous about doing this because I don't want to bend up the cover, because the cover is a type of cardboard and it would show any kind of harsh wrinkles that I would put into it. So there's that. Oh, here we go. This is working better. Ooh. Okay, that fit that way. It's gonna fit. It's gonna be a tight fit, because I don't know if you can see that, but this, I mean, it could stretch, but it's gonna be a tight fit. It is a little bit of a, it's not a clear cover. It has a little translucency. I mean, it has a lot of translucency, but it's not perfectly clear. Okay, now a lot of people, I'm going to just do this back here because to show you what some people do with this card, they'll put it in so that they have pretty artwork on the outside of their planner. There you can see the name again, Nolte. But I think it would be a little bit tight of a fit. Now, you know, there's ways to address fit issues with heat, and I can see too that this has not fully gone to the edge like it could. So if I really want to use this cover with it, I would probably mess with it more. Not on camera, to see if I could get that to fix, but to fit. So let's take this out of here. Let's see if we can do that gracefully. Here we go. Okay, that one could fit. Okay, this one is just, let's see, this is the right side up. Slide this in. That is one thing I do like better with Hobonichi, is the cardboard cover that they have is tough enough that it can slide into things without worrying about bending and damaging it, compared to this one. And they also have some that are hard. Okay, it does fit in there. Do I like this? No, it cheapens it. So I probably won't do that cover, but at least I can see that it fits. Okay, pull this out of here. That's there. Okay, this one, I ordered this one from an Etsy store. Etsy? Yeah, I think so. I believe it came from the Ukraine. Such a pretty color. And I was hoping this would fit my paper test as well, which it did not. It was too, I think it was because paper test has so many pages that it just pushed it so it didn't fit the cover. I had to stick it out this little slit here, but this fits very nicely. Oh, doesn't that look smart? I love that, and this is such a beautiful color. So it does add some weight and some bulk to have it in a leather cover, which is why I tend to not always get big, thick covers for my planners, and I tend to like the clear covers. But you've got some pockets, places for credit cards. I truly don't know what this is for. Pencil board slide? Would you do that? Would that even be useful or helpful to have that? No. Maybe it's just designed if your cover needs to stick out a little bit. Not quite sure. One thing you could do is I have those little pen loop clips for traveler's notebooks. So in theory, you could slide one of those here, and then the loop would be right here, and you could have a pen. So that's a way to use it. But this fits, and it fits well. So I do like that. Okay, and then this is like the jumbo. This is an Aura Estelle. Yeah, you can see the logo there. And this one has, it's got room for everything. It does not have like the wallet pocket, which is cool, but adds bulk. So I've never really wanted that in a planner cover. Otherwise, I would have a few more planner cover options to work with. Okay, that fits in there nicely. This one did fit my paper test, but by the time I got the paper test in there, and with all the extra bulk of this thing was massive. And that was when I kind of came to the conclusion that maybe I didn't want to carry it around everywhere with me. Okay, let's get that in. Okay, much less bulky than with paper test, because this is 272 pages compared to 600, so it's less than half the size. It has a little space, so you could tuck things in there. Credit card slots. This is this little slot you could put. Where did that? Thumb. You could put your little stickers and your little card in there, and it would be all ready to go. But it does add some width because this is designed to hold a bigger planner. So see how far it sticks out. Where the leather cover did not do that because it wasn't designed for one as fat. So in theory, if you're going to buy the two books, the volume 1 and volume 2 of this 6-month set, you could have them both in here at the same time, should you wish to do that. Okay, that was my quick unboxing and cover trial for my Sterling Ink Vertical B6 Common Planner, Part 2. Anyone wants to see that? And I'm happy with it. I'm happy with the size of it. And I'm looking forward to using it. And hopefully looking forward to using it next year. Oy. There's never a perfect system. It's just the reality. Okay, thanks for coming along. Hope it was helpful to see an unboxing of this product.